Boys and girls, this is the Friendship Podcast episode, Who Cares, of the dumbest podcast to ever be recorded, but somehow it's still going. We still have traction. We're still relevant, unlike Rob Ho's bitch ass. And here we are back for another installment. So that's the type of mood I'm in, and let's see where it goes from here.
G-Bone just with the absolute eye roll sigh of like, oh, this is what I'm
No eye roll. No, I just I don't know. I talked to Drake now for countless hours, but he never seems to. I seem to always be surprised, but I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I would say that's not going to go away. Probably, if I'm just playing the odds there, it's probably not going to go away. Drake, are you wearing a Texas Longhorn hat, or is that the?
Shout out the Earnhardts. This is Noble.
Oh, okay. It's another place. We have in the house today, Turn Signal Kevin. Kev, welcome to the show.
Hey.
How you doing?
Great, guys. How we doing out there?
Yeah, great to see you back out there, Kev. Kevin, you're coming home from Chicago, I assume?
Yeah, had one of my good buddies get married this weekend, so
okay.
Spent the weekend in Chicago. Yeah.
So it was an opportunity for you to act like a buffoon at a wedding.
Yep. Never seen the shortage of those opportunities.
Did you was full prime wedding Kev out in effect this weekend?
Is there any other type?
That's probably a dumb question. You're right. It's truly something that I think everyone has to fully experience in person if they want to get the full picture of that. It's a fun sight. Grant,
are we going to make my wedding a Washed Up Walk-Ons Patreon exclusive event for sell some tickets to the Walk-On Army or what?
Well,
we're definitely selling tickets.
Now we're talking, right? And I don't know how we execute on that, but we could probably make some money there. We could live stream it. We could and then just drop the password, drop the code in the Discord or in the Patreon announcements. We could probably find a way to monetize that though. But how many?
There's going to be a certain tier where they can buy Kevin's wife. It's for the kids.
We'll have to see about getting her on board for that one,
but I'll be honest.
Tell you what, dude. Will $100,000 buy the divorce? So now they get to marry your wife. It's for the kids, man.
No.
Well, I tried.
You're talking to the CEO, Stryker. I mean, Jesus Christ.
You're missing at least half a dozen zeros.
Holy shit.
Kevin loves his lady. That's good. It's good to know.
It's like $100 billion.
Grant, I'm confused. When it must be a Zoom versus the restream thing, but when we have you in the other one, it seems like your room is different. Are you in a different room right now?
No. What's different about it?
I just maybe we can see wider frame. I see a Godfather poster that's way too small on a wall there.
No, it's way too small. Yeah.
Are you big fan of the Godfather?
I just there's a lot more people who are like really dedicated to it, but I don't know. I just like it.
I've never seen it, and it's on my list.
You should check it out.
I've also see a set of golf clubs back there, and you playing out there at Pleasant Valley?
I played Pleasant Valley in the fall. I think the courses just opened up this past week. I think like Brown Deer opened up over the weekend.
The Kev, to answer your question, correct. I've never seen The Godfather. It is top of the list on the series that I want to knock out. But it's one of those where I know it's good. I know it's so good and so highly thought of that I've always wanted to like really take time and not be in the middle of like another series and like being bounced back and forth. So I want to like give it its full due. I mean, you
need like 3 hours on a Saturday afternoon.
Oh yeah, that's true. The Godfather. What am I thinking of? Oh, The Sopranos. The Sopranos is the TV series. Same. I'm not fucked up though. Those are like the same kind of story, right? They're both.
Yeah, it's all the same Italian. They're a little bit different, like definitely different, but similar.
Okay. Anyway, we're here. We're going to talk some sports. We've got a few things on the docket today. The Iowa women tip off in T-minus 84 minutes here.
In the Final Four?
No, in the Elite Eight, which you said that if they made the Elite Eight, you'd start watching.
Okay, so turns out that the Elite Eight is going to be probably like a second half watch if I can make it back in time, because I got to get Kaylee from the airport.
Yeah. So let's see. And I thought
I've also got a buddy competing in combat jiu-jitsu tonight in Cancun, and that's on UFC Fight Pass. So if you want to go watch some combat jiu-jitsu, which is a pretty fun little deal they got going on, shout out Aaron Wilson and Oscar De Los Santos, both competing.
Is combat jiu-jitsu not just like full-on MMA?
No, not at all. No gloves, no stand-up strikes. But as long as one opponent is fully grounded, all open hand strikes are legal, as well as elbows to the body, I believe.
Open hand, like you can smack the shit out of him, or what?
Yeah, so it's a lot of smacking, but guys are more kind of making almost like a hammer out of the butt of their palm and kind of hitting jabs and hooks with the flat part instead of rolling the knuckles over. So
Wow.
yeah, combat jiu-jitsu, it gets nasty. Like
I was just gonna say that sounds
in one of the
gnarly.
last events, this guy by the name of Damien, I can't believe I'm forgetting his last name. He got put in a heel hook and he just gave the guy his leg just so he could bend down and hit him with palm jabs, hit him with 2 shots, and the guy was out like a light.
So it's essentially a way to get around punching somebody. You're using leverage in your wrist and your arm in a way in which you're punching them anyway. Like,
Right.
Yep. Sounds like something I would not be interested in at all. At least not interested in doing. I'd be interested in watching. Similar to the Instagram story you put up today. I don't know if people saw it. That fucking truck's tire comes off and goes underneath. This is usually a DHT conversation, but Drake put up this dash cam footage of a truck and I don't know, some other mid-sized car rolling down the highway. The truck's front driver's side tire, what is it? It comes off the axle.
Yeah, just full blown lug nuts come off and just
slides into the other lane. This car runs over the tire and gets launched like you see people when they sit on like an airbag and people like prank them. The car got launched 15 feet in the air, 20 feet in the air, turned, landed on its top. I mean, it looked like a movie. And that was interesting. And that person also might be dead. Who knows? Probably not, but it was scary. But yeah, you said, Drake,
something else scary.
What?
In the Phoenix jiu-jitsu community at the old gym that I used to train at, a guy who had been training there for several years went nuts, killed his pregnant girlfriend, his kid, and himself.
Like in the gym, or like just he?
No, he just did it. But like, this was a guy who brought that kid. He used to come to the gym. So like, I've seen that kid.
Aren't those stories wild, dude?
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's crazy.
Like you always hear about, like, I don't know. Lauren told me something about a month ago about some guy put his family in the car, said that they were going somewhere like on a Sunday afternoon.
Heard about this.
And he was driving a Tesla and he drove it off a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, but what are we doing though? You know, what are we doing? Hey, and the other thing is his whole family died and he lived.
No.
Yeah. He lived.
No.
Yeah. So now he has to live with that. Now, he's probably going to finish the job at some point, because if that's your life, that's just how that's going to work out. But that's the story I heard.
He lived.
Like, these are movie scripts, TV show scripts, and they're happening in real life, in some places. like in the gym that you just mentioned. So I don't know where this podcast has gone, but that's where it's currently at. The Iowa women, since we last talked, they won their first game against Southeast Louisiana. They talk shit. They got beat by 50. Caitlin Clark and the entire squad laid it down on them. We advanced. We played the 10 seed Georgia. Took care of them. Tough game. Last time we podcasted was actually right after that game, but that came out on Thursday, which would be a week ago because this is coming out on Thursday. Iowa then faces up with Colorado in the Sweet 16 to go to the Elite Eight. Something that said that it would catch Drake's attention. Grant G-Bone clipped that, put it on social media, and named it something along the effect of, "Oh, this is what the Caitlin Clark effect is." Right? It finally gets Drake to watch women's basketball of the university that he went to. And tonight, after defeating those three opponents, the Iowa women's basketball team matches up with Louisville and another stud named Haley Van Lith.
And that's tonight.
That is tonight in 78 minutes. Where it's
Put
currently
the ball in the air, 78 minutes.
Yeah, 78 minutes tip off. And the Hawks are going to go for, and this is a wild stat that I believe Lystico just put this on Twitter about an hour ago. In the history of Iowa Division I basketball, that is including all teams, men and women's, there have only been 6 Final Four appearances in the history of the game. The Iowa men have done it 3 times. The Iowa State men did it once. The Drake men did it once. And I think maybe the Drake women did it once. I think those are the 6 appearances.
We don't play much basketball up here in Iowa.
Or maybe
Typically.
the Iowa women might have been one of those times. I feel like it was because I'm pretty sure the Iowa women they made it in 1993. And this is like a 30-year deal or something like that. So G-Bone's nodding his head yes. So I think I got that right. So this is we're in a rare spot. A Final Four is legit. And to illustrate how hard it is to get to a Final Four, the men's games are the ones who kicked off today. And even though before we hit record here, or as we hit record, you guys won't hear it because it'll get cut. But Drake was shitting all over the men's basketball game of college basketball. And the current Final Four before that was the last game. Texas, Miami was the final game, right? It's set. Yeah. So the Final Four is now UConn, a 4 seed. Are they 4? San Diego State, a 5 seed. Miami, a 5 seed. And FAU, a 9 seed.
Shout out FAU.
Dogs.
The Owls can win it all.
Especially with who's left in the tournament.
That's what I'm saying, dude. These teams only score 60 points a game, okay? Anybody can come shoot 45% from 3 and score 70.
So it's been an absolutely wild year. And I don't know. People knew that it was going to be like this. And I don't know if it's just because of the year or it's because of the transfer portal and how things have gone, the COVID years, all these old dudes who are playing college basketball. Every roster in college basketball now is like 3 years older than the average age of every NBA team. It's wild. But it's just like, it's crazy to watch. Texas just blew a lead right before we recorded this podcast. And there will be no 1, 2s, or 3s in the championship and not even in the Final Four. So G-Bone, you're a big sports guy. I know you have to have tons of thoughts about this.
I don't know. Different than Drake, but I like that it's crazy. You know,
I do
like
too.
that. I like that I think college sports can be fun in a way where it's like it's 18-year-olds, you know, they're missing shots all the time. It's kind of an added level of fun where if you go like, if you flip to the NBA right now, like these guys never miss. Like they're nearly they're incredible players. Where I kind of like it's more human in the tournament, and that's why you get all this craziness. So I don't know. I love it. I think it's good. I think Drake's right. The Owls are incredible. They're very good. And I don't know. I was in a little bit of an argument. I kind of like owls as like cool animals. My dad was saying that was stupid for that, but I think owls are cool.
it's sort of novel, right? Because I think there's 3 schools that have owls, right? Temple
Temple or the Owls?
Temple, Florida Atlantic, and there's one other one. I can't name it.
It's like
So it's not like the Tigers, right? Or the Hawks or the Bears or the Wildcats, right? Like FAU is currently making the owl a swaggy animal. And dude, honestly, if they win it all, I might get me some FAU merch. I'll hop on that bandwagon.
yeah, no, FU is a cool school. It's and it's crazy. Like a mid-major is going to play in the championship. A mid-major hasn't won since UNLV did in the 90s. So, I mean, the fact that they just got into the championship game and they'll have a chance to win it is crazy.
I love the volatility of college men's basketball in the tournament. We were just talking about it before we hit record as well, but I'll bring it up here. There's nothing more volatile than basketball, where a team can go absolutely brick ass cold, or they can light up like the inside of a volcano and get magma hot. And if one team does that and the other team is just average or maybe somewhere down the other side of the extreme, now a team that has no business playing on the same court on 9 out of 10 games is all of a sudden capable of winning by 10 or 15 points against some other team. Like, it's just wild to me. It brings me back to the days when I used to play AAU. Play is sort of a operating term there. I didn't really play. I sat on the bench a lot, but the AAU games were fun. And it's like college basketball is just AAU. It's fucking great. So I think it's cool. Speaking of the NBA and guys who just don't miss, couple notes here related to the Hawks. Luka Garza is playing for the old Iowa Wolves. Last night, he went for 47 and 15.
Holy shit.
I think it was their final game of the year.
Dude, you got buried in the Discord for the way that you say Wolves, and you did it again.
What's up? The Iowa Wolves?
Oh, you said it normal there. On DHT, you said Wolves.
Wolves?
And the
Iowa
people
Wolves?
ate you alive for it.
No, it was just Cade or James or one of them.
Oh, I thought there was multiple.
And what's wrong with Iowa Wolves?
That's bad.
You don't like Wolves? Dude, how
That's how
fucking
you actually pronounce it?
It sounds like I'm in a library if I say the Iowa Wolves. It's the Wolves, dude.
You mean the way you're actually supposed to say the word?
Yeah. Fuck them. Dude, the Iowa Wolves. You guys are all looking. I must be crazy. I'm.
You're crazy.
I'm rarely like the outlier when it comes to saying something, but I guess I recognize that there's an L in there, but there's also a B in comb. So.
In what?
Comb. Like a comb, you brush your hair with a comb.
Right, but you can kind of hear the B at the end of comb.
You can kind of not hear the L if you say wolves. Grant's filthed by it. Like
I'm disgusted too.
Hey, we all have something that we say different than other people. I don't know. I'm sure there's something. If we had you say every word in the dictionary, you'd be like, "Hey, why are you pronouncing it like that?" I guess mine is wolves. It's the wolves to me. Like when you say T-Wolves, it's not, to me, it's not T-Wolves. It's T-Wolves. Maybe I am fucked up. Now the more that I say it, the more I sound like I'm in fucking.
I cannot imagine how angry the listeners are right now.
I hope they are.
They're hot.
Good.
They are headed to comments and headed to Twitter and headed to Discord now.
I want you to light me up on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram right now. If I want you to pause the podcast. First off, I want you to subscribe to us. We just hit 2,269 subscribers. Nice.
Ooh, giggity.
But let's push that towards 2,300, right? Follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, and then comment about me saying T-Wolves or just Wolves, Iowa Wolves. Regardless, that wasn't the point. The point was that Luka damn near dropped a 50 piece. and added 15 boards to go with it. And somehow
that's an incredible game against anybody. Like that's a great high school game, dude.
Yeah, that's fucking absurd.
This dude did it against professional basketball players. Understand that he's not in the NBA exactly.
But when he's putting up stats
still
like
better
that,
than college kids.
There's got to be some NBA team.
It's like I need somebody that has that potential.
You put Luka in an NBA game, I think he can get you 10 to 15 a night.
He can at least give you good minutes as like a spot up shooter.
Works his ass off on defense too.
Swear.
That's the one thing about Luka
he would, if you're playing him at the big, he's gonna have trouble defending.
He's gonna have trouble because they're way quicker than him
and huge.
Because the people
he's not as long as NBA centers.
No, he's 6'11", 6'10", maybe 6'11". And though he's athletic for being that big relative to normal humans, when KD is 6'11" and can do what he does, and Luka and Giannis, you're fucked. Luka's not guarding those guys, right? But more than anyone, the guy worked his ass off. When we're talking about the college game and how fucking crazy it is, and guys they're missing shots and they play weak defense, and it's a bunch of dudes who are unathletic a lot of times. Like Luka was a workhorse. Guy put in effort. So
face was always hella red.
Dude, if he didn't bleed, it was a minority night. Like the games where he didn't bleed were in the minority. The other hawk making some noise in the NBA right now is Keegan Murray. Guy's about to break the rookie three-pointers made ever.
Really?
Yes.
And I'm out in left field with a hockey stick when it comes to sports information these days.
I only know because people retweeted on my timeline and because it's Hawk related. But Grant, if you could pull up that list, I'm sure if you just search Keegan Murray, you can find like the top 5 and who he's about to pass. I think Damian Lillard might be at the top of that list.
Think about that. Keegan Murray is about to break Dame Lillard's 3-point rookie record.
Maybe it's not Dame, but Dame was on the top 5 somewhere. It was
Ray Allen.
No.
Reggie Miller.
But
Steph Curry.
Steph isn't on the top 5 either. But
Klay Thompson.
It's rookies though, right? So you have to be.
I'm just trying to think of the greatest shooters that I've seen in a while.
I'd say Trey Young's got to be up there now.
We'll see if Grant
maybe
can find
Ja Morant. He's
find
a shooter in more than one sense of the word.
Oh, well.
Hold on, I'm trying to dig in through StatMuse here. I think it's okay. So it's the number 1 is Donovan Mitchell, 2 Damian Lillard, 3 Keegan Murray, and then I don't even know how to pronounce this. Sadiq Bey in Detroit. Saddiq Bey, Bey.
Sadiq.
I'm definitely pronouncing it wrong.
What's the numbers? What's the numbers there? What Keegan needs 4 to break the record?
I should have these pulled up. I think it's, let's see. Keegan has 184. Damian Lillard had 185, and Donovan Mitchell was 187.
So Keegan needs 4 threes. He makes like 3 to 5 a game, and I think they have multiple games left. So he's absolutely going to break it. He's got a chance to be the first to ever eclipse 200.
Well, they're the current 2 seed, so they have potential to go deep in the playoffs too.
I think this is rookie season or regular season.
Oh, regular season? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's only a couple more games left, but he's going to break it. And I just saw a video of his coach saying how if he breaks this record, even if he didn't break the record, what he's done and with their team record and how good they are, if he doesn't make the all rookie team, the coach literally said these words. He said, if he does not make the all rookie team, then all of this is just bullshit. He just said that all of this is just bullshit because that has to mean something. So Keegan's just absolutely gone off. Do you
remember when they picked him and the King fans were pissed?
Oh, they were livid. And of course now, because they're just Cheeto fingers at home, now they're just on their knees for Keegan because, there's no repercussion for them being pissed after they drafted a no name out of Iowa, right? But now Keegan starts, and the arena, when in the starting lineups, they yell, "From Iowa, Keegan," and the entire crowd goes, "Murray." Dude, he's a god there. He's literally a king. It's unbelievable. And the funniest things are the memes about him, like how he just never smiles. Like he never shows any emotion about anything. And it's true. Like the kid just, I don't know. He's going to make a lot of money playing basketball.
He's an assassin, huh? I did not know he was this good this year.
He's balling.
That's
Absolutely
dope.
balling. We'll go back to the girls here. So Jan Jensen is first of all, the coach, national assistant coach of the year for the Iowa women's team, right? Bluter's like right-hand woman, coaches the posts, worked with Megan Gustafson, Sonano. There's an article on her because she won this national award as coach, national assistant coach of the year. Her dad happened to pass away this morning.
Oh no.
To add to it, in 2015, when they made the tournament, her mom passed away, like while they're in the middle of the tournament. In 2020, her brother passed away. Like, dude, the story of adversity that Jan Jensen's gone through. So then Lysico writes this article about like driving back and forth to talk with her dad. She lives 3 hours away from Iowa City, or he lives 3 hours away from Iowa City, this past week. And I did not know this. Jan Jensen played at Drake, and before that was a stud in Iowa women's basketball. She played 6-on-6, old school women's basketball.
Can't pass half court line.
Yeah. So Grant, do you know what that is? You've never heard of 6-on-6 basketball.
I thought you were talking about a different sport.
It essentially is a different sport, and you're going to hear
two dribbles, and you can't pass half court. You're either a defender or you're an offensive player.
Yeah.
Is this like with a peach basket still?
It was essentially like, yeah. I mean, it was like women finally are starting to get some respect and like be allowed to play sports, Title IX, all of that. So this is like what my mom played. And you were either like Drake said, you were either a guard or a forward. And so you were essentially playing on a team of 6 that was on the court at all times, but it was split by the half court line, and it was just 2 games of 3v3. Like that's all it was. And then when you got a rebound as the defense, then you would just throw it over to the other side of the court, and they would play 3v3 over there. Like that's literally how it worked.
But only 2 dribbles.
And you only got 2 dribbles. So knowing that, because I'm curious what you guys are going to say here. When you reformulate that into your mind, and now you're now playing 3v3, and I don't know what the quarter lengths were, if they played halves back then, or I'm not that well versed in 6-on-6 basketball. The scoring was a little bit inflated back then, right? You only had 3 people on the court. There's not as, they're not taking up nearly as much space. So offense was a little bit easier back then. When Jan Jensen, she was a stud. She's like an all-timer in Iowa high school basketball and at Drake. What do you think Jan Jensen averaged her senior year of high school in 6-on-6 basketball? Give me a number. What do you think?
Because of your tone, I'm going to go 40.
Okay.
And a dozen.
I don't know assists or rebounds, but they were probably high.
Geez, I mean, I feel like it's gonna be something stupid. I don't know. I'll say like 45, 10, and 10.
Okay.
Or isn't that what Drake said?
I said 40 and a dozen.
Said 40 and a dozen. Kevin, you got to guess at what Jan Jensen was scoring in high school?
I'm going to also say it's around 40, but you can't have that many rebounds. You either will only have like assists or rebounds, right? You're only playing offense. You're not going to have that many rebounds, right?
That's a great point.
Offensive boards. Yes, you're right. The rebounds would be cut in half essentially, but I only saw a points number because they didn't list the other points, and I couldn't even find stats because I was so blown away at this. I tried to go back and find all her stats.
What was it, like 44, 48?
Jan Jensen, and she's not the only one to do this, by the way. Jan Jensen, the assistant coach for Iowa women's team, sounds so stupid. She
She averaged
averaged
60?
66 a game.
Oh my God.
Fuck.
Dude, I thought it was a typo when I read it. I read it again. Then I searched it on Google because I'm like, this isn't real. She averaged 66. From what I could tell, there was another girl who's like who's like the legend of 6-on-6 basketball in Iowa. Her name was like Lynn Lorenzen. She averaged 68 and a half her senior year. These chicks were scoring 50, 60 a game.
If they're averaging 68, dude, that means they're scoring 80 some nights.
Yeah. And so I just thought like, oh, this is fucking unbelievable. Like,
I want to know what the single game scoring record is because it has to be close to 100.
it was over 100. There was I'm pretty sure that Lynn chick I just mentioned it said that she had a game with over 110 points. Yeah,
Who?
I swear to God, I'm not making this up. And it blew my mind when I read it about 5 hours ago. Now, so Jan Jensen goes on to play college basketball at Drake for Lisa Bluter. At Drake, now she's playing 5-on-5. You have to play defense. You get tired. You know, the court is shrunken down because there's more bodies, there's less space. Dude, Jan averaged 30 her senior year at Drake. So she was an absolute killer.
That's killer.
She was a stud, dude. And now she's the national assistant coach of the year. And is going through all this adversity. So, I mean, you know, there's all those tweets like the Hawks are really going to play harder tonight for Coach Jensen and stuff like that. I don't know. You're probably not holding back and waiting for someone to pass away so that you can play harder. I've never bought into that, but there is definitely some more meaning to it for her for sure. And she is a badass coach and probably a large reason. Like if you ask Coach Bluter, she probably would credit her with 50% of the coaching success there. Like there's a reason why the women are tipping off in now 57 minutes to try and make the second Final Four appearance in the history of the program. So we're in a good spot to do it. We're the higher seed. We're playing a 5 seed. That doesn't mean shit, obviously, as we just talked about the men's game. But if we win this game, we'll most likely be matched up against South Carolina in the Final Four. And I mean, we talked about this. Like, can they make a legit run?
See, but isn't there less parity in the women's game than there is the men's?
Yes.
Because if South Carolina has a couple of like really big, a big 4 and a big 5, or like you can always rotate in the biggest player. Like, I feel like takes a little bit of the parity away.
Yeah. So the Sweet 16 in the women's bracket, we talked a little bit about this in the Discord as well. 2 of the regions were perfect chalk. 1, 2, 3, 4 were who made it to the Sweet 16. In the third region, other than the 1 seed, the 2, 3, and 4 made it. So 11 out of 12 teams were chalk. In Iowa's bracket, other than Iowa, the 1, 3, and 4 didn't make it. So that was a little bit of parity there. But it's definitely.
But I'm talking about like does South Carolina have somebody in the girls' game that's like a Shaq out there? Like,
they're massive.
Because I've never watched them play, but just the way that they're the only undefeated team and everything, I'm guessing that they have a post that can't be stopped.
Yeah, her name's Aaliyah Boston. She's the one that's been in the conversation with Caitlin for National Play of the Year. She won it over Caitlin last year. Her stats don't match up even close, but you know, there is some arguments for her as like when teams play her, there's like still images of them putting all 4, like they'll guard the ball and all 4 of the other players on the team will like quadruple team Aaliyah Boston.
Yeah.
And they still throw it up to her and she still scores. So then you surround her with like some really athletic guards who are like can actually handle the ball and shoot well. And yeah, South Carolina is far and away the best team in college basketball this year. And if
guess what? Braun beat the Warriors.
Hey, it only takes one, right? It only
If Braun
takes
beat
one.
if Braun beat the 73-8 or 73-9 Warriors, Caitlin Clark can beat South Carolina.
Braun came off the bench today for the first time since 2007, by the way. That's a real stat.
You see his quote about his foot?
No, what he said?
No.
So in typical LeBron fashion, he said that he saw the LeBron James of doctors. and that doctor cleared him after other doctors told him no. After suggesting season-ending foot surgery. Just wanted to throw that out there.
AKA he got the LeBron James of drugs.
Oh yeah,
And-
definitely.
That plus a whole lot more. Yeah.
And
Probably.
healed like he's from Wakanda.
That guy was, that guy was on every peptide under the sun, and his foot still probably hurts like a bitch. It was funny. Somebody posted like LeBron's coming off the bench and he still did his chalk toss before the game. Like, buddy, you're the sixth man today. Yeah, he's the goat. I'm gonna say he's the goat. He's the goat of our generation. Yeah. Michael, him, he can basically do whatever the fuck he wants. Okay. Let's see. What else did I put on here? Brody Brecht listens to the podcast, I guess. So that's good.
Really? Oh, yeah.
So shout out you, Brody. Finally taking our advice. That's a joke, by the way.
Smart kid, though.
He might listen to the podcast. He definitely didn't make his decision because of us. Nonetheless, the kid's given up football, which is his true, like in his words, like his first love, his first, passion. And it's funny. I'm not going to knock him for his statement, but in his statement, he said something along the lines of like, football was my first true love, but over the last couple of years, baseball has become my true passion. And I just wanted to put in a quick edit. Like, football is my first true love, but I'm not going to make any money.
Baseball is going to pay me all the money.
But baseball has absolute Brinks trucks lining up for what I have capable in my shoulder. And so I'm going to try and pursue that. I'm sure he's grown to love baseball more too when you're doing that well. Smart move by the kid.
Yeah, it's to me, I fully expected it, right? Like, money talks, but it's a little sad, right? If football is truly the sport that you love, but you feel the need to give it up just to pursue your professional dream in another sport, it's a little sad, isn't it?
I would agree with that.
Money talks, bullshit walks, Kevin, and feelings are bullshit.
Any response there, Kev?
One of us has been to a mental institution,
the other has. That is exquisite, Kevin. That right there is golden goose content. That was amazing. Here's I'm going to agree with you, Kev. I think that, like, imagine this, right? Gosh, I guess none of us were really in that situation. I've talked about it. I'm not a sports fan. I didn't ever truly love. That's actually not true. I loved playing linebacker. I fucking loved playing line. In some sense, I did what Brody Brecht did on a very, very low level, right? It was inside of the same sport, but I had to shift paths to go and get what was more, I won't even call it lucrative.
Higher calling.
Yeah. So, I could have, I had interest, right? I could have gone and played for the St. Cloud State, whatever the fuck they are. And I could have played linebacker, right? But if I was going to play Division I, it wasn't going to be at a real position, And so long snapper it was. And I've told people
right.
Go for it.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, like, I actually did love tackling people. I love playing linebacker. I love being a part of the defense. I love feeling like I had a lot more control over the outcome of the game. But ultimately, long snapping provided a path towards getting some of my school paid for, playing at the highest level, getting to compete with the best of the best athletes in the sport, experiencing things that you would never get to experience at a Division II or lower. The places that we got to go, the NFL players that we matched up against, the opportunities that we got,
those meals we got to eat,
the free food, all the shit, right? Like I have
Dude,
never
if you're a kid thinking about going and taking a scholarship to a Division II school, taking a few $1,000 off your tuition, or going to Iowa as a walk-on, take the training table, take the nutrition station to the bank and walk on.
I'm not
You
going
just got to put in the work.
I'm not going to 100% echo that, because I do believe there's people out there. Perfect example. A guy that we played with. What was his last name? His first name was Noah. He was a DB. He played on
Noah Clayberg
from I think it was from Pella.
Pella.
Kid was a kind of a killer. Worked hard, great athlete. Didn't have all the physical tools. Like, he wasn't 6'5", but he was big enough, strong enough, fast enough to play at the Division I level, and could have played on the defense someday. Got a lot of playing time as a young guy on special teams, but he wanted to go. And I think he ended up playing quarterback at wherever he ended up. He, after 1 year, decided to step away from Iowa and go play like both ways at like Dordt College. And he just loved playing and having more of an impact. And it's just like, so I'm not going to completely echo what Drake said, but I think in a lot of places, and I've heard a lot of people say in some version of what Drake was trying to get across, the Division I level offers you some opportunities and some experiences that are really hard to replicate, and at some point even impossible to buy in life.
If you have big goals outside of football, from like a business perspective or just postgraduate success in the business world, what better than the connections that they just put directly in front of your face at Iowa?
Yeah, there's
like,
a
you
lot.
actually can't beat that.
I was going to say too, like, I always talk about how most of my experience, I snapped 8 plays a game for 13 games a year, right? My experience inside of Iowa football, 99% of it or more of the stuff that I got out of that experience was not what you saw on Saturdays. And the first thing that comes to mind is how transformative the strength and conditioning program was, and being able to compete with my teammates. Not that you're not going to get that at a Division II or a Division III program, but I'm telling you, you're not going to. There are levels. Essentially, there's levels to this shit.
Yeah, and so basically it was like, Brody's handed a winning, and the caveat is, but you might not be able to cash it unless you give up football.
Right.
That's kind of why I feel for him, because I know he probably would love to be able to play both. But realistically, he made the right choice.
It's the reason why he did it up until this point. I think everybody other than him, and he will probably come around to this at some point as well. My first initial thought was, he's going to go off. He's going to pursue this baseball thing. Kid might actually make it in the real major leagues, right? Like, there's a lot of guys who are good as fuck. They get drafted, and then they end up in AAA or AA. I've got a couple buddies, kids from Marshalltown, who are stud baseball players, and they're playing like high A. They're getting paid like 32 G's a year and have to live in Los Angeles. Like, it's a living, but it's different than playing for the Yankees, right?
I've got a lot of faith. I think it's a lot better chance than just a maybe that he makes it.
That's what I'm saying. Brody is legit. Like, he could wear.
He's got God tier talent.
Right. And so he's going to go and hopefully he has a 12-year career in the league. And then he's going to look back someday and go, dude, I could have fucking broke my arm in football. What was I doing? Like he's going to have like flashbacks or like nightmares, like year 7 pitching for the Padres. And he's going to be like, oh, I was dumb as shit. I was playing football, getting tackled by Cooper DeJean. What am I doing? Right? Oh, as his fucking $700,000 paycheck comes in on Monday. Like, but yeah, it is a little bit sad, Kevin, because it's probably like, not probably, it is 100% the biggest adult business decision that he's ever had to make in his life. And up until 18 years old, like how many business decisions do you have to make? Basically every decision you get to make is like, hey, be a kid, have fun, pursue your dreams. And now it's like, hey, we know you love Iowa football, but you can toss it 112 miles an hour, buddy. So you should probably quit. It's just like, it's like the angel and the devil on his shoulder. And the angel is Kirk Ferentz. It's like, hey, be an Iowa football player. Be a 2-sport athlete. And the devil's on the other side. Hey, there's turn signal, Kev. The devil's on the other side, and it's got Coach Heller's face on it. It's like, hey, do what's right. Eat the apple. Come to the baseball.
I'm very sure that the entire coaching staff on the football team
No, yeah, you're
very
right.
aware of his potential on the baseball path.
I
Very understanding.
I would guess that when he told Coach Ferentz, Coach was like, oh, Brody, I've been waiting for this all fucking year. Huh? Go fucking pitch, huh? Probably
You're going to make more money than me.
you're going to have a fucking bigger salary than every football coach in America. Holy shit. Then he told him some story from Then he told him some story from 1981 about another guy who played football and baseball and had to make the same decision. And Brody was like, "Oh yeah, okay." So that was cool. He's gonna go absolutely tear people apart. The only other thing I have on here is the Masters is not this upcoming weekend, but it is next weekend. And I saw that the Champions Dinner menu was announced, and this always really grabs my attention. Grant, can we pull that up? And
Make sure you read the last line on this thing.
the last line.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, the golf tournament today, did you guys see the clip of the guy eating the Uncrustable? There was a guy like in between shots on one of the holes. He pulled out an Uncrustable as a snack. And the Barstool captioned it and said, "He's one of us." I love those moments. Who won the Masters last year? Was it?
I don't think I can share my screen, by the way, but it was Scotty Scheffler.
Oh,
Yeah.
So Scotty, I'm gonna find it. Scotty.
And Scotty put a nice little troll job at the bottom of his menu.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Little dig at the live players, right?
Yeah, that was a good one.
I didn't even see that.
I can read it. I just can't share it on the.
I've got it right here. I'm gonna pull it.
Okay.
Here we go. Share screen. Share the old screener. All right. So right here, we have Masters Club dinner. And evidently this sucks. Okay. Cheeseburger sliders.
Oh, this is it was a different thing.
Okay, I was gonna say I didn't see anything on the bottom of it, but the menu is cheeseburger sliders served Scotty style. No idea what that is. Firecracker shrimp, sweet Thai chili, and sriracha mayo. Tortilla soup, avocado, crispy blue tortilla chips, sour cream, cilantro, lime. Main dishes, you get a choice between Texas ribeye steak or a blackened redfish. Family style mac and cheese, jalapeno creamed corn, fried Brussels sprouts, seasoned fries. And then for dessert, a warm chocolate chip skillet cookie, milk and cookies ice cream to go on top of it. Dude, if that doesn't hit, I don't know what does.
It's gonna hit unbelievable.
I mean, can you imagine a Texas ribeye steak with a skillet cookie dessert? Do they eat this before they kick off the next day? Because you might be walking around a little heavy. Like,
Yeah,
be
I
tough.
think that is on Wednesday.
It
I
might
think
be.
it's I think it's
it-
Wednesday.
It
Yeah.
might be tough to get the club around that first few swings on Thursday now. Better be careful.
He's just catering the Texas Roadhouse to Augusta National.
Essentially that's what it is. Yeah. What was the jab at the live guys?
I thought it at the bottom it said live meet at the 9th green at 9:00.
Huh.
Kevin,
There's-
was that the same troll that you saw?
Maybe not. Is that what
RIP,
you-
Kevin?
That's
Yeah,
so funny.
Kevin died or went under an underpass or something.
I'm pretty sure that's what I saw too. I don't know.
The live tour drama is like a real it's sort of invigorated golf storylines. Like it's real. It kind of makes it more interesting as a guy who's not like a golf purist. Like from the outside, I kind of love it. What do you guys think about it?
I think it's sweet.
I've yet to watch any live story events, so I don't know. Drake,
Dude,
Yeah, I
it creates a rivalry in golf. Like these dudes are shitting on each other, trolling each other.
Yes.
Like it gives more guys opportunities to win. I don't know. I don't hate it. Eventually they're gonna have go ahead.
there was beef between guys before that, though. You know that, right?
Yeah, but little unspoken beef.
Yeah, I feel like this has publicized it a lot more. Because that it creates that sort of barrier where you're like, okay, well, I'm not playing in the same events as these guys. I'm gonna shit all over them. You know? I think Kevin probably, if I know Kevin well enough, he kind of he recognizes like the gentleman's like respect of the sport too much to really get too into like any juicy beef between Liv and like he's just like, I just want the sport to be what it is, you know. But I think
But the
they should-
Masters is gonna be what it is. Like everybody's allowed to play at the Masters, and now it just creates more rivalry. I think it's kind of cool.
I do too. I've told you guys that maybe I haven't said this. I think I did at least once. My father-in-law has gotten to play Augusta. He's played Augusta and he's also gone, I think, twice to watch practice rounds before the tournament kicked off. When they played Augusta, right? So you stay in cabins on the course. And when you wake up, every meal is like it's like when you go to a all-inclusive resort in Mexico.
$3 for your lunch sandwich.
So when they woke up for breakfast the first day and they like go to where you eat or whatever, my father-in-law said that there is no menu. You just order what you want. And they have the ability to basically make whatever. Because that like the chefs that they have on hand at Augusta at all times are just like world class and they have all the foods, right? So just order whatever you want and they'll come back with it. And I thought that was absolutely just elite. I mean, that's like, it makes sense because it's Augusta and it's got all the flash to it, but that's pretty damn cool. I'd do anything for a champions dinner. Like, can I get the stuff? I'm going to sneak in. And then when they throw stuff out the back in the dumpster, I'm going to piece together my champions meal and like just put together a little, like somebody didn't like this fatty part of the ribeye steak and I'll put that on my plate and I'll snag a few fries and somebody only ate half their skillet cookie. Morikawa, he's like 142 pounds. He only ate half the skillet cookie. So I'll grab his half and, you know, I think Colin Morikawa is my favorite golfer, by the way.
Dude is a savage with the irons.
He's actually fucking elite. So Scotty is, he's pretty good, huh? Like
Scotty's really elite. Scotty's been on a tear for the last couple of years.
He's ripping people apart, huh?
Yeah, he's on a nuclear type tear. It's like a half a Tiger Woods tear.
Which is just the fact that Tiger did what he did. Like It's unfortunate I wasn't into golf as much because that would have been fun to watch while it happened.
Those Tiger Sundays were some of the most memorable moments of my sports fandom.
So Drake, I don't know when the Final Four is. Let's wrap it up here.
I thought we were doing a top 5.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Kev, did you put together a top 5?
I got a top 5 in my head.
Okay. So Drake, tell them what our top 5 is tonight.
Our top 5 is top 5 animals you would most want to own.
One question. Do these have to be currently living or do extinct animals count?
Well, if extinct animals count, then I would for sure redo my list. I was going living.
Let's go living. I also questioned that in my putting together of the animals. And I just saw an extinct animal that I had never heard of before called the Siberian unicorn. And it was pretty fucking sweet, but take a lot to feed that thing. So, Drake, if you want to kick it off with 5, you can tell me.
All right, boys.
Tell me what you got.
5, I think I'm going to go with the most reasonable of the answers, and that's Tibetan Mastiff.
Okay.
It's an incredible looking dog.
Yeah, just the dog, right? The dog that you've always wanted.
Dude, 250,000 to like $1.5 million those dogs go for.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
You're no.
Look up most expensive Tibetan Mastiff.
There's no fucking
G-Bone.
chance that a dog goes for $250,000. Maybe like the show dog Tibetan Mastiff.
Chinese Tibetan Mastiff can be priced as high as $12,000 for the top of its bloodline.
Nope, that's not the one I'm talking about. Continue,
Wait.
and I will find
Okay.
what I'm talking about.
Kevin, what's your 5th animal that you would prefer to own or you dream to own?
I'm gonna go same kind of area of the animal kingdom, slightly different. I want a pack of wolves.
What, a pack of
so
wolves or a pack
no.
of wolves?
Yeah, if you call my pack of wolves a pack of wolves, I'm gonna stick them on you.
He really accentuated the wolves.
Chinese businessman made headlines when he bought a 1-year-old Tibetan Mastiff for $1.9 million in October of 2021.
Okay.
Sounds like
Oh,
money laundering.
that thing must have a huge dick or something. I don't know what's going on there. So I went in my head, and this is a little out there, and I didn't know how out there we were gonna go, but in my head I went straight to the Hangover here, and I thought, dude, give me a tiger.
Dude, Mike Tyson's tiger was on my list.
Yes, that was exactly, and that's 5 for me because I didn't know if there's some less extreme in my top 4, but I thought tiger, dude. Now, is that reasonable at all? No, I'm gonna have to feed him 200 pounds of meat a week, but this isn't based in reality. This is based in, if we had a blank check. So I'm putting a tiger down at number 5. Holy shit, I just dropped my water. All right, Drake, number 4.
So I think I'm going to I really wanted Mike Tyson's tiger to be on my list, but you stole my thunder. So I'm going to go with a leopard.
Ooh.
Just like a real rare leopard.
Okay, I've got something like that. I'm a big cat guy. So
Yeah.
we've got some cats here on my list. Leopard's dope. Kevin?
I almost went with
number
Black Panther, but that felt racist.
Okay, well, chalk it up for me because that's what it was.
That is an animal, but okay. Number 4, we're gonna go to the sky, and I want a falcon. Like those that hunt with falcons. I think that'd be sick.
Ooh.
Almost made my list. I
Great
almost
choice.
put a murder falcon.
I did
Murder
not.
falcon almost made the list.
I did
Great
not think
choice.
about falcon. That's fucking cool. A falcon would be, especially falcons are smart. You can get them things to go like retrieve things for you, like just set them loose. They'll come back.
You get to wear a cool glove.
Yeah, they sit on your arm with the glove. It's like the hawk they released at the Iowa games, except for a falcon's even more badass. So
Flies about 18 times faster too.
oh
Yeah,
god,
falcon will go up to like 10,000 feet and nosedive at 150 miles an hour.
dude, they're so fast. It's stupid. So for my number 4, give me the koala bear. like, you know,
You want chlamydia?
I heard they're mean.
yeah, I think they're
And
mean. I think they're bastards. I think, but give me the koala bear. I mean, it's just like, I don't really have a whole lot of justification. It just seems like it'd be awesome to be like, hey, if you want to go out back, we can hang with Kenny the koala. I don't know. So Drake, give me your 3.
For my 3, I want Simba.
Okay, so you
Need a
want
baby lion, a baby male lion to raise.
okay. It's gonna grow up into an adult.
Which is what I want.
Okay,
But yeah, Simba in particular, because he was damn cute.
damn cute line. Damn cute line. Kev at 3.
At number 3, Kluber, I'm going to follow you in the Australian outback, but I'm going to go with a kangaroo.
Dude, kangaroo was. I almost put kangaroo at like number 2.
Yeah, kangaroo's up there, man. I didn't even put kangaroo down.
I didn't put it down because I don't know, but yes, Kevin, that's a great choice.
And Drake, cancel me or not, but hey, Wakanda forever. Give me the Black Panther at 3. Dude, a panther though?
Dude, they're crazy.
They're so sick, and in the dark, you can't see them. They're
Rest in peace to you.
You're dead.
You're dead.
How about a guard dog, but it's a guard panther?
Well, funny you say that because my number 2 is a guard silverback. Give me silverback gorilla at number 2.
A guard silverback. Hey, don't break in the front door. As a silver.
I like that pick a lot.
Louis up front. He ain't to be trifled with.
Guard silver. You just accidentally break into the wrong house. And a silverback rips you in half. I'm fucking weak. Okay, Kev, what's your 2?
Number 2 is I wish that we had done the same thing with these animals that we did with wolves and domesticated them, that we could make them nice family pets. How have we not domesticated grizzly bears? Like, we got to make these things nice and cuddly pets. I want a grizzly bear.
Whoa.
That gets a little intense. Although we're really on the we're all of us are thinking on the very similar wavelength here. Because my number 2 is polar bear, and you know, Coke bottle, polar bear. I think grizzly, polar, brown bear, they're all pretty dangerous. So that's probably why we didn't domesticate them. They're also massive. It also brings up the debate between Drake's number 2 and our number 2s. If a grizzly bear and a gorilla go to war with each other, who wins that fight? And that's probably it's probably a whole different podcast. I think I fall on the bear side of the thing, but yeah. So that's my number 2, polar bear.
Dude, I found out that a silverback can't even take down a leopard.
No, he could.
Yeah, because a leopard just latches onto the femoral artery and watches the silverback bleed out. It dances around, bites femoral artery, and skedaddles.
I was gonna say, in reality, though, I don't even think a gorilla would ever even be able to catch a leopard.
Right, that's kind of the point.
Right,
the leopard's too fast and bites.
If you put him in a 10 by 10 cage, then the leopard's got
a 10 by 10 cage, bro. The silverback's not fit in a 10 by 10 cage.
Okay, a 20 by 20 cage. Okay, number 1, Drake. Number 1 animal for you.
Number 1 animal for me is the world's most dangerous animal. Give me the hippopotamus.
Yeah, the hippos are sweet. Hippos are really sweet. Have you seen how fast they can run?
After you said world's most dangerous animal, I for sure thought you were going to say human being.
I was 100% convinced he was going to say Khabib Nurmagomedov. He was going to say somebody. He was going to say some Dagestani wrestler. Give me the biggest animal in the world.
No, give me the hippopotamus. Dude, put a pond in the front. Give me the guard hippo, backed up by the guard silverback.
You're gonna need a big ass pond, bro. Hippos are ginormous.
Yeah.
Have you seen the video? I just saw it last week. Of they're in Africa, and The hippo is like completely submerged, but he starts running in the water.
They are so fast.
Dude, the water doesn't even slow them down. They can
Yep.
catch boats.
Yep.
Kev, what's your 2?
We're on number 1.
Or what's your number 1? Sorry, not number 2.
Number 1 is I am ditching my car. I'm going to start riding this around. I want an elephant.
I thought about the elephant. I thought about the zebra, right? You're going to get great gas mileage, Kev, but it is going to take you forever, especially with your job, to get around to work.
Man, if I had these whole animals, I don't need no job. Like,
That's true.
got a zoo.
You're just going to go down to the
Right,
grocery
right,
store and back.
Yeah, I'm just going to go down to the grocery store on the elephant.
Park his
plenty of room
elephant.
up there.
Park his elephant, grab a bag of avocados, come back.
Exactly.
Okay, I went less extreme on my number 1, and this is just forever and always been since I figured out that it was an animal. And this is actually maybe the most domesticatable animal on our entire list, other than Drake's dog. And that's a quokka. You guys know what a quokka is?
No idea.
This is a quokka. You see that little guy?
You kind of look like that thing.
You think I resemble a quokka?
Yeah.
Well, they are a small macropod about the size of a domestic cat. It is the only member of blah, blah, blah. It is the cutest fucking animal alive, dude. Look at that thing. Everybody listening right now, pause the podcast, search QUOKKA. They are unbelievably cute. And it's like a little cat. And you guys know me. I'm a cat guy. I grew up with cats. So that would be my number 1.
You lose.
Maybe, but koala bear or quokka. I think we might win the cuteness contest. You certainly win the guard animal contest. Fucking guard silverback. Unbelievable. As we wrap up the podcast here, we are 22 minutes from tip in a game that will send the Hawks, hopefully, to the first Final Four in 30 years. And hopefully we get to talk a little bit about that and keep following. And really so that Drake can get to watch any part of a women's Iowa basketball game this year. That's really what we're fighting for here. So, Kev, thanks for joining us from the road. Appreciate it. And
Always a pleasure.
Everybody have a fantastic Thursday when this comes out. Little fantastic weekend as we head into it. And we'll talk to you next time.
I'm about to be tuned in for tip off, dude.
Okay. All right. We'll talk next time. Peace.
Peace.